Well, hey, I'm here with Dave Colina. He is the founder and CEO of O2. And, I've asked Dave to join me here because I've enjoyed over the last couple of weeks talking with different brands about, what they faced with COVID-19, what they had to think through. And, I've tried to act as a connector and use stories from people as thought starters. And I've used your story quite a bit in terms of just providing inspiration for others. And so I thought it might make sense if we just sat down and talked for 10 minutes, allowed you to share what you were doing and
Sure.
then hopefully use that as a real-time case study for other brands to be able to share some knowledge and maybe inspire them to think through some things.
For sure, man. Happy
Um,
to.
yeah, well, thank you for joining me. I love the O2 shirt.
Nice.
I've only seen you wearing O2
I,
stuff.
got- I got a lot of them. I know a guy.
But well, let's just kick it off, Dave. What is O2?
Yeah. So O2 is a product. It's a recovery drink that's developed to help people rehydrate and recover faster after workouts. And we started in the fitness scene. O2 was literally and figuratively launched out of the back of my car. And originally, I was driving around to different CrossFit gyms and yoga studios and Whole Food stores, slinging O2 out of my Prius. And we've since grown to a retailer base of a few thousand at this point, gyms and grocery stores across the country, including Kroger and Sprouts, Whole Foods, and coming soon Publix as well. But the majority, over 50% of our revenue, at least historically, had come from gyms. So gyms purchasing O2 to wholesale. At wholesale to retail to their members, because it's the perfect setting for a product like ours. O2 has more electrolytes than Gatorade, a fraction of the sugar. It's all natural. So the gym consumer is our target consumer, and the best way to reach them, historically anyway, has been through gyms.
Yeah, and it's kind of there right as soon as they finish the workout when you can give them the true product fit.
Yeah, there's no better time for an O2 than after you work out.
Yeah. So I guess I'm curious. Was curious about your business model. So you're basing a lot of different channels, but you said the gym makes up roughly 50% of your revenue.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you released a letter to your investors, which I think mentioned that even that 50% of revenue was at roughly 90% subscription based. So you have a lot of guaranteed sales coming from these gyms. Doesn't
Yeah,
sound
at least until about 6 weeks ago.
Exactly. Doesn't sound great. So, I'm curious, like, when did you sit down and look at your sales and say, we could have a problem with what's going on in the world today? What were the heads up that you had?
I started to get a little concerned in February, and then a little more concerned at the end of February, and a lot concerned in early March, and then kind of went into crisis planning mode in mid-March, so the Ides of March, and we developed quickly a program that allowed us to pivot and pivot fast. That's one thing that we've gotten good at O2, for better or for worse, is fast pivots. So we developed a program that would effectively allow gyms participating in this program to share in the upside from sales by their members who would normally be drinking and buying O2 at the gym, but are now instead buying it from us on our website. And we rolled that program out on March 18th. And at that point, I would say probably half of our gym customer base had been forced to close. And today it's about 95% have been forced to close. And when we rolled the program out, our web sales went through the roof. We beat our top performing month up till that point. We beat that month in 3 days. And since then, our sales have been about 700% on direct to consumer, whereas our gym sales have effectively been down about 90%. But yet we're still having record-breaking months, which is something that we're real proud of, especially in this environment.
Yeah, when you say record-breaking months, is it record-breaking months with online sales or just
no, like total revenue? Total
overall revenue is higher than ever before, even though essentially 50% of your business has been artificially shut down or
Yep.
shut down for lack of
Yep, exactly. So direct consumer's up obviously quite a bit. Gym is down quite a bit, and then grocery has been up a little bit. So it's largely driven by direct consumer.
That's outstanding. I want to kind of go back. You said you went to this, crisis planning mode as you saw things were maybe turning for the worse or going down not the path you want to go down. What did crisis planning mode look like?
Mm-hmm. It looked like a few long nights and a lot of a lot of thinking on Saturday, Sunday before the Monday that we rolled this out, or the week of us rolling it out. I think we rolled it out on a Wednesday, but Monday is when we really mobilized. And I tend to seek out advice, in situations like this. And I'm pretty particular about where I turn to, but when I get advice, if it's good, I'll take it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate to have a good network, and so I kind of bounce this off of a few people in that network, and I can always get a good read on my ideas, whether they're good or bad, based on my sales team's reaction, and so sales was really excited about this. And based on the advice of a few folks who I talked to, we effectively started to plan for this March 15th, March 16th, and then rolled it out on March 18th, and it went, kind of went from there.
So it was a pretty quick turnaround then, in terms of you saying, we got a problem. I'm going to reach out and just start throwing out various ideas to my network and getting feedback on what works, and then you implement it quickly.
Yep, and I was, if you hear the same thing or similar kind of themes over and over again, there's probably something there, right? Yes. So the thing that we were talking most about is how can we keep members buying O2, where they'd normally be purchasing it at the gym? How can we keep them purchasing O2, whether it's from us or somewhere else? And then also, what's the right thing to do in this situation too? That's the other framework for decision making is I'll look for advice, and then I'll also kind of frame a decision in the context of our company values: honesty, humility, and hustle. And so looking at it through those values made it clear that we had to do something. We can't be, we couldn't be honest about ourselves as a business if we weren't going to help our customers that are primarily driving our revenue most of the time. And we couldn't, hustle if we didn't move quick, right? So looking at what the right thing to do was, and looking at what we were capable of, and looking at for kind of consistent themes and what we were talking about and the advice that we were getting to, made it clear that this was probably the right thing to do, and it's certainly shown itself to be.
Yeah, I mean, what I love about this is there's a couple things, right? So the first is you looked at, we may have a problem. And then as you went to your scenario planning, it was not, Dave in a vacuum. It was Dave reaching out to people that in the past have provided great advice.
Yep.
So you're going to expect great advice in the future. And then it was that quick feedback mechanism in terms of,
Totally.
are we hearing it?
Totally.
And all three of those sit under the bucket of, is this consistent with where we are as a company and where we want to stand? And to your point, consistent in, are we providing value to the channel that we're partners with? Value you're providing is, hey, you may not be able to open up a gym, but you can still provide a revenue stream from selling O2. I'm going to let you participate in the upside.
Exactly.
And it's a win for both of us.
Exactly. So it's I feel terrible saying this, but we're going to come out of COVID better than we went into it, because the brand equity that we've developed with the gyms that we're helping through this, and certainly the members who are supporting their gyms, purchasing a product that they already love, has been incredible. And the response that we got early on was so positive that we actually formed a coalition of other brands that are also sort of rooted in the fitness space to participate in this program and honor the same profit sharing give back. And over the course of the last 6 weeks, we've actually generated over $250,000 to give back to these gyms once we conclude the program at the end of this month, which is pretty exciting.
That's amazing. And when you say we, it's this coalition of brands that for lack of a better term, would be competitors under other circumstances in some cases, or is
They're non-competing brands. So a clothing company, a drink company, a gear company, a meat stick company, supplement company. So we didn't want to pull together, strictly competing brands. But we're all talking to the same audience, and we all have our own marketing budgets and costs per acquisition. But
yeah.
we've really been able to not only help the gyms but also help each other too, because one of the things that we made sure of when forming this coalition is we were only going to invite brands to participate that we really liked and believe in and kind of know how the values of the company. So that makes us feel really good about pushing that brand in front of our audience, and then they do the same, which helps everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I love it how you basically took the model that worked for you and said, how can I expand it to bring more people under the fold, and therefore bring more value to the channels that I care about.
Yeah.
You said earlier you feel bad saying you'll come out stronger. I don't think you should feel bad about it, because you're coming out stronger not because you took advantage of somebody, but because you stayed focused on what's the good I can do and how can I create value along the chain.
Totally, 100%. Especially like right now, there's so much bad news, and there's been so much bad news over the last 6 weeks that if you hear some good news, it really kind of perks your ears up. And this is a feel good story, and people like to be a part of that, and it feels good to be a part of that. Our team has never been as energized.
Yeah, and I felt good sharing your story with others, on phone calls and stuff like that. So I feel like I'm part of it as well.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely. Thank you.
But last thing, it sounds like at this point you'd be an A+ for pulling it together. As you look back, is there anything you would have done differently? Like if you six weeks ago, or do you feel like this has been just along the way you're happy with all the decisions you made?
I'm sure there will be. We do after actions, as well. I'm sure after kind of major events, and I'm sure there'll be a host of things that are more nitpicky that we could have done a little bit better. But on the whole, I think we did the big things right. We got the timing right, we got the big idea right, we got the execution right, and so I'm really proud of the team's ability to mobilize and execute this quick.
That's awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Dave, for taking the time to just sit down with me to talk this through. Before we went live, you mentioned that this program's still available for gyms. So I'll make sure to include that information, when we get into the videos, in case there's any other gyms that want to participate.
Awesome.
We'll be able to follow that link as well.
Awesome. It's Drinkco, so it's pretty easy. Drinkco2.com/gyms.
Okay.
We'll allow people to look up what their gym's unique code is, and they can use that code on our website, drinkco2.com, and the website of a few others, which if you go to our website, you'll see the others as well. But we've got some assets up there too, but it's a good program. And also, if your gym's not there, it allows you to submit your gym to get a coupon code for them so they can participate in the program.
Thanks, Dave, for joining me. Really love picking your brain. And again, congratulations on putting together a great program for others.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, Ken.